Okay, in today's video, we have a crazy video, probably one of the craziest videos on this channel. First, we go over my experience at my first card show visit, going over like some of the stuff I picked up and like some of the stuff I did going up to it. Next, we go over buying one of my biggest grails that was not directly at the card show, but kind of because of stuff that happened at the card show. And then we just decided to open a few packs at the end, and we actually hit one of the biggest cards in a set. So yeah, please stay tuned. Normally don't add in these little intro parts, but just because how crazy this video is, I decided to add this now. But yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, I'm going to my first card show later today, so I did just want to show off a few things before going into the card show. And yeah, really excited. So like I said, this is going to be my first one. It's a very local one, but it actually, I think it's like a traveling show, like between two states, and it's like pretty much in my hometown, so it just really worked out for my first card show, because I was planning on going to a different card show that's like still really close to me, but a different one. But this one just happened to be like right in my local area, so I'm going to go to this one today. And I just want to show a few things. So I did want to show off like 3 cards I did pick up yesterday from a card show, or I meant from a card shop. One of these is one I saw that like they post like cards they get every like few days, and they had one I'd been looking for, so I will show it off. It is the Perfect Order promo Tyrant from the ETB. Literally my favorite card in Perfect Order, so I wanted to just get the promo instead of the ETB. I wanted to get one with the plastic seal, but I mean, obviously that wasn't the biggest deal. And I think I paid $5 for this, so huge win there to me. Because, like I said, absolutely love the card. I love the Tyrantrum line, and they just don't get a ton of like cards in general, but especially not like illustration rares. So yeah, really happy about that one. Next up is another ETB promo. This is from Ascended Heroes, the N Zekrom, just an absolutely awesome card. Probably another one I would have wanted in the plastic, I mean, but still, absolutely awesome card, and it pairs so well with the Ends Reshiram from, I was about to say Ascended Heroes, but no, it's actually Journey Together. And then one last card. They had a few of this one, but like it's such a good card, and but it's the Hone Edge for $3.99. I mean, this card just looks awesome, and I think it's also from Perfect Order, and I really do think it's one of the best ones in the set. It's just Hone Edge might not be the most, or no, this is Doublade or Doublade. I think it's Doublade. But yeah, just I think once again, just not the most popular Pokemon, but such a cool card. And like I said, for $3.99, awesome. And then I did get 3 packs my dad gave me: Phantasmal Flames, Surging Sparks, and Journey Together. We might open these at the end. I honestly don't know how the rest of this video is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to record much, if any, at the actual card show. I might show something if I pick up, like I've got a few things in mind I'm wanting to get, and I've got a few sports cards I was thinking I might trade. I mean, I think these are all in like the $1 to $10 range, so I'm not expecting a ton out of them, because I thought, maybe I might be a vendor at some point, so I'd rather, keep more of my stuff, and, get better margins if I was a vendor. And also, you want to have inventory. So yeah, that's pretty much the stuff though. So yeah, next part will either be stuff at the card show or the results from the card show, but that'll be it. Yeah, so let's get to that. Okay, this is going to be the post-card show part. So we're going to show off everything we picked up. Now, I did decide, I think we are going to open all these packs, so I will open them at the end of the 3 packs we got that I showed off earlier in this video. So yeah, I'll try to organize these by the order in which I picked them up. And yeah, I pretty much was able to negotiate every card. And the only cards I bought today that that are not going to be in this video, I did buy like a few football cards for my sister because she's a big Cowboys fan right now. Oh, and I did not trade or sell any of those cards. I showed the sports cards at the beginning. Like I said, I figured for one, just those could be inventory. And I only went to the show for like an hour, and it was like it was the second to last hour. So what? Well, okay, pretty much the card show closed at 3, and I went from 1 to pretty much 2, pretty much exactly an hour. So yeah, the first vendor I went to and bought from, I picked up 2 cards. I picked up the Cynthia's Roserade, and as you all know, I'm a huge Cynthia fan, which is, you all will see by another purchase. And then the other purchase I made was the Superior V. This is a card I've seen before and considered, but passed on earlier, and decided to finally just get it. As you all know, I'm a big Unova fan, so anything like this is cool. And I mean, this is the Unova trainer. That might be Hilda or the other girl. I think this isn't Hilda. I think this is the other one. But yeah, Black and White, one of my favorite games. And yeah, both are show my kind of DS era love with Black and White and Diamond, Pearl, Platinum. Mainly Platinum for me because that was the one I grew up playing, but loved all of that stuff. But yeah, picked up both of those 2. And yeah, so it was 19 and 12. And I think I offered 25. And yeah, we worked it out. And like I said, this was my first purchase from a show. So yeah, 25, I think 25 is what I paid. So, yeah, because it would have been 31. So yeah, 25 seemed fair. Okay, so next booth I went to, Okay, I think that was last. That was trying to. Okay, yeah. Actually, I walked around pretty much the whole store and went back to the very first booth I went to, and I picked up something that I asked about straight out the gate. This is something I've been wanting to get. I passed up on one time at retail price, and I've regretted it ever since. But I finally got it, and it is the Cynthia's Garchomp EX Premium Collection. Yeah, I can't believe I passed on this at one point in the store. I remember I passed on there was one day I went to a Target, and this was like, I guess, right around when I first like kind of was getting like out of Pokemon, like, or getting a little less interested. And I can't believe I didn't buy it then because I'd wanted it. I saw it in store, and I can't remember if this was like a third. Honestly, this is probably more than a $30 box because I think it's $30 pretty much just for all these packs. And then you add in the promos. Well, they had it listed at 50, and I mean, this is a box I've wanted to get sealed for so long. It's got so many of my favorites. Cynthia, as I've one of my favorites. Actually, I think the Reflection. Okay, yeah, but Cynthia is one of my favorites. The Gible Garchomp line is my favorite Pokemon. So like, this is just the perfect box for me. And like I said, I can't believe I passed on this box at one point. And I got this, and this was the thing I talked to the seller about, and I thought it was 30 retail, but actually it's probably more than this. So honestly, paying 50 for it is not a bad deal at all. But I got this, and they had a little thing of cheaper slabs. So I picked up one slab that was 15 bucks, and so 15 and 50. I think I got it. I said 60, and they were fine with that. And I got this PSA Skarmory. It's an 8. I know 8s aren't everybody's cup of tea, but I absolutely love this artwork. I actually did buy the single of this one at one point. Yeah, it's a beautiful card, and yeah, like I said, 60 for these two I thought was a great deal. Okay, next up. Yeah, so next up is a few cheaper cards that I just really liked. So first up, we have the Turtwig from the First Partner Collection sets. I know the Kanto set is crazy, and I really want to get some of these, especially the second wave of these with Unova and Johto, two of my favorites because I've played Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Like I said, my DS era and the black and white, obviously. So yeah, and going back to my DS era, the literally only one I bought, Turtwig. Turtwig was actually, I think, the cheapest of the three that this seller had. Oh, I hear my cat at the door. So, but they had Piplup for 12 bucks, and I was like, Piplup's the most expensive, but I forget. Yeah, Piplup is such a fan favorite too. But I think Turtwig was either Turtwig or Chimchar was. Chimchar was either, I think, 6 or 9, but I just bought just the Turtwig, and I think I got it down to 5, so that was great. Like I said, it was my favorite of the First Partner Collection for the first wave. Especially considering how much the Kanto starters were. Then went to another booth, talked to a guy. I was talking to him, like, we were both talking about, like, starting in, like, the black and white era and being around the same age. And I bought this Auroras from him. As y'all know, I'm a big Fossil Pokemon fan, so Auroras. And I think I got this for $3, I think we said. Yeah, I think I got it for, like, 3 or 4, but yeah. Full art of a Fossil Pokemon, one of my favorites. I mean, I just picked up that Tyrant, oh, wait, was that earlier this video I showed this off? Yeah. Yeah, showing my Fossil Pokemon love, because I think I showed that off earlier this video. And then the last card I picked up, other than I think those football cards were somewhere around, I think before I picked up Auroras, and after I picked, or right, it was somewhere in that range. Actually, it might have been right before I picked up the Turtwig. But the last card I got the Thundurus promo from the ETB. I have a lot of love for Thundurus because I played White growing up. That was my first game, so I actually think I used Thundurus in part of one of my playthroughs because it was the legendary genie I was able to get, and like I knew it was a legendary, and I think I asked $2 and they took it. So yeah, that was all the cards I got at the show. But there was one card, and I'm going to talk about this in 1 second. I'm going to deal with my cat really quick, and we're going to talk about, I decided to finally buy one of my Grails that I saw at the show 3 times, but decided to buy, but I bought it through eBay for a few reasons, which we will talk about right now. Okay, I don't know if you'll be hearing my cat, but he's like right on top of me and he is purring. But I did finally decide to buy my like biggest Grail, one of the cards that got me back into Pokemon and that I've been debating on for so long. And I've opened so much Lost Origins on this channel trying to pull this card. I mean, not any Lost Origins like in the last year, but early on in this channel, I opened a ton of Lost Origins from like Dollar General, GameStop, all on the hunt for this. Like before the prismatic hype had like made cards go crazy, I was trying to open so much Lost Origins for this card, and I finally bought it, and I got it at a great price. I finally got the Aerodactyl. Well, I still need it to ship and to get it in hand, so I shouldn't. I'm not considering it like fully part of the collection until I get it in hand. But I did finally order the Aerodactyl. This is one of my favorite cards. It is, as I've mentioned already in this video, fossil cards are or yeah, the dinosaur prehistoric looking Pokemon are some of my favorites. Um, and Aerodactyl is definitely no exception. And this card is just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about the whole situation with it, and then we will talk about just why I like this card so much. So yeah, pretty much what happened was, well, I've been wanting this card for a long time. Actually, I've just on this channel I've talked about it for so long. And then, as you know, I've gotten in and out in the past few years. Every time I've gotten in, this has been my like big chase card. And you know, I was planning to go to this card show and a different card show coming up, and I was like, if I happen to find an Aerodactyl, either Lost Origins or even Lost Abyss, which is I think the Japanese version of the set, and it's like a PSA 9, I will probably try to negotiate it down a little, but probably buy it. And I went to the card show. The very first booth I went to, literally the one I bought the Garchomp and Cynthia box. Like, literally, I went to that booth, asked them about the Garchomp box, then walked around the whole thing, and then went back and bought it. They had the Lost Origins Aerodactyl V in a PSA 10. Because I said, because I looked around and didn't see it the first time. And I said, hey, do you all happen to have the Lost Origins Aerodactyl? And they were like, and then they pointed me to it. And yeah, they had it in a PSA 10, and it was like $500, 500 something. That was more than I wanted to pay. And this is for my personal collection, so I did not care one bit about getting the PSA 10. Honestly, I would have been fine with a PSA 7. I just wanted a graded copy, like just a little bit of extra authenticity sake. And just, I think it's, you know, it's a card I would really like to be protected. But yeah, I wanted to get like somewhere between a PSA 7 and a 9, just so it would be in good condition, but it would be graded. I didn't really care about getting a 10, especially not at the... Now, obviously, if I could have got a 10 at the price I got, like, could have got a 7, it would have been different. But, you know, obviously the pricing is a big deal with the grades. But I personally, for my PC, I prefer just getting 9s because you almost get the condition of a 10, if not sometimes. But for a lot of the time, like half the price. And that was kind of my thinking going in. So, like I said, first booth that I found it, had it for whatever price I just said, 500 something. Then I walked around, I saw a raw copy at a booth, and it was, I think, 210, I think sounds right. Didn't say anything at first when I first saw it. Walked around, went to, then I think I went back to their booth, or went to the next booth I'll talk about, but I'll go back to the one that I said had it raw. And I just, like, talked to the guy who had it. I said, just something about, like, what would they be willing to go at the lowest. And I'll be honest, at a card like at this price, and like I don't think I've ever spent over $100 on a card, or if I have, it's probably been like almost right at 100. And I said, what's like the lowest you would be willing to go? And he said, I guess like 200. And that was like $5 or $10 off. And I was like, eh. And he said, well, I couldn't even give him an offer because I was like, I don't know. I wasn't sure. And he said, well, I could do like 190. And I was like, honestly, I think I'll just pass for now. Because I literally said, honestly, the price I would want to offer, I just knew it wasn't going to be fair. Because I didn't even feel comfortable offering like 120 for it raw. And I could tell it was not like a card that was going to grade a 10. Not that I was even going to send it to PSA if I bought it. And like I said, I wanted to buy a graded one anyways. But like I could see like the corners weren't right. Like one was way more further off, so I just don't even think that one could have been a 10. So yeah, and I for a lot of the raw cards, I feel like you're almost paying the price of a 10, because like if you get a 9 and by the time you pay grading costs, you're losing money if you didn't just outright buy the 9 too. So that's another reason why I kind of, and I don't know, I hear so many horror stories with like shipping cards and stuff that I don't really want to send to PSA. I'm fine with ordering PSA cards, but I just don't want to send my cards to PSA. And like I said, I think I've mentioned this before, but you know, I have a like connection with kind of with cards I open and stuff. So I would hate to like, you know, lose like that Charizard I pulled from 151, for example. But okay, so then yeah, so that booth, like I said, I could have got it for like 190, I think raw. And then there was another booth, and they had a CGC copy. I think it was a 9.5. And I think it was, I literally can't remember what price it was. It was probably, honestly, a decent price, but I just don't know as much about CGC. I think it was somewhere between 130 and 190. I know that's a big range, but I know it was something in the hundreds, and I know it was somewhere in that range, but I can't remember exactly what price it was. But I didn't go for it. So then after the show, so as you all know, I probably spent, I don't know if anybody did the math. I might do the math in the description or on screen or something, but I don't know, I can't remember exactly how much I paid at the card show, but I did. So I got on eBay after all this. I looked up the PSA. I looked up Lost. I didn't even say Origins or Abyss just so I could see both. I looked up Lost, PSA, Aerodactyl, And yeah, I scrolled down, saw a few listings. There was a 7 at the time I went to look, and I've looked at this card a ton. But like I said, I guess after seeing shows, it finally gave me the push. And like I said, I put down like $200 to buy it, but just I didn't see it in the store. At least not like I said, the version I wanted to get. But the Japanese ones aren't even that much cheaper. Is one of the reasons that I went for this. And I swear, I think the PSA 9 was at 200 something at one point. I think, and I could be wrong on that, but pretty much. So the 7 was like, I think almost, it was like 130, 150-ish range. The PSA 8 was like almost 180. And there was 2 copies of a PSA 9 for like 200 plus shipping. And then there was one, I think like 210. Both were like around 200. One, I think, with or without shipping. So I messaged both sellers and I said, hey, would you be willing to go any lower, or are you willing to negotiate or whatever? And I literally copied and pasted the message and sent it to the other one as well. And then one of them reached out to me really fast and said, probably not at the moment. And I said, well, thank you so much for letting me know. And if the other seller isn't willing to either, I will probably just take it off your hands, or something along those lines. Like, pretty much told them, if the other seller isn't willing to negotiate either, since you reached out first, I'll buy from you. Because like I said, they were pretty much the same price. But then the other seller, like 30 or so minutes back later, messaged me and said, yeah, what's your offer or whatever? And I was like, awesome. And I said, like, thank you for even like entertaining offers. And I told them, I was thinking I was going to say, honestly, I can't even think of a fair price right now, so I'll just let you wait. And I was like, well, honestly, let's just send an offer and just see what they say, because, I mean, worst they can do is say no. And obviously, I wasn't going to say like $20 or anything like that. They just would feel like mad that I even said something, because that would have been stupid, obviously. But I said, like, thank you for even sending the offer, or thank you for willing to send or whatever, or negotiate. And I said, would you be willing to do, and I'm not going to show the full message. I mean, not that there's anything like super personal, but I just would rather not. And I said 150. I can't remember, like I said, exactly how I said it, but I said, and that might be too low, so whatever, which I know obviously isn't, the best negotiating, because then they would have known, they pretty much knew I was probably willing to spend more or whatever, or maybe thought I would, I don't know. I don't know if they thought I was capped there, but I said 150. And like I said, I was not expecting them to accept 150, but I was like, we'll just see, go from there. And then they said, does 160 work? And I pretty much, I was literally going to type out, yes, that works for me. Just like actually send like the eBay offer thing. And they'd already sent the offer thing before I was going to type that out. And I accepted it right away and thanked them and said, thank you so much. I've been wanting this card for so long, and it's going in my PC. So yeah, we finally got the Lost Origins Aerodactyl ordered. Now, obviously, once we get it in hand, I'm going to be so excited. And like I said, this has been my biggest Grail card. And yeah, I guess we can talk about that now, because like I said, I wanted to talk about that. But yeah, I guess, and I actually have not used an Aerodactyl in a playthrough. The only time I've actually used Aerodactyl, so I've actually planned on using it in a playthrough and debated on using it in some playthroughs, but I just haven't got to it yet. But I did in Pokemon Champions, which I currently have been doing a series. I don't know if you all have seen it on the channel, but I have been playing Pokemon Champions where I've used Aerodactyl, and it is so fun to use in Champions. And I know it's actually really good in Champions, but yeah, that's the first time I've actually like consistently used an Aerodactyl on a playthrough, which, I mean, Champions is a little different if you know, but I just loved all the fossil Pokemon, and like specifically Aerodactyl. One thing I love about it, I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen the anime episode with Aerodactyl and Charmeleon. I mean, it's kind of, I feel like one of the more iconic episodes in the older series. I mean, there's obviously a ton, but it's definitely one of them, because I think it like almost like rage baits Charmeleon into evolving into Charizard. Like, it is such a funny thing. But yeah, like I said, I absolutely love Aerodactyl, the fossil Pokemon. Just, and I'm a big dinosaur fan. Literally, I have another channel where I like literally just do dinosaur content, because I like dinosaurs and prehistoric animals so much. So like, there's just so many factors, and there's even more that I'm not even mentioning. But yeah, love Aerodactyl. But then the card art for this card is just absolutely amazing. And like I said, this goes with kind of like my just liking dinosaurs. So obviously you get like the big volcano in the background, but then a herd of Rampardos and Cranidos, amazing. You get a Bastiodon, Shieldon herd, Tropius, and the Tropius literally holding the banana. Then you get the Unova, the Unova fossil Pokemon with Archeops. Actually, I don't know if there's an Archeops in here or not, or if it's just, oh my gosh. Archeops is the baby one, right? Archen, yes. Yeah, it's Archens. But I didn't even notice that there's some more. I knew the Tortugas or Caracosta, whatever, they're here. But I didn't even realize there's Almanites on the card too, little Almanites in the corner. But yeah, it's such a cool card. There's so much going on. It's an absolutely beautiful card. Yeah, like I said, it's been my Grail card for so long for so many reasons, and it's just so good. So yeah, it's all Gen 1. I don't think there's any Kabutos on the card. I'm gonna say, and there's none of the Gen 3 fossils, but there is Tropius. I mean, I guess they could have thrown like Tyrantrum on here, maybe if they wanted to just even add more, but I absolutely love this card. Like I said, there's just so much going on, and like I said, because I like dinosaurs and Pokemon, it's just like the perfect card. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, I'll probably gush about this card even more whenever I do get it in hand. But yeah, so yeah, I guess that'll be it for talking about my Grail card for now. And yeah, well, I guess we'll open those 3 packs now. Hopefully we hit something crazy. I mean, we're opening 3 pretty good sets, relatively good sets. So, I mean, 2 of the 3 I'm really excited for. So yeah, we'll see what we pull right now. Okay, now time for the pack opening. So yeah, we're gonna open 1 pack of Phantasmal, 1 pack of Surging, and 1 pack of Journey Together. Journey Together, I mean, the only thing I can really think in here is any of like the ends cards, and Mr. Leo is right over the side, so he might jump up on the table. Surging Sparks, obviously the Pikachu, or either the Laddies would be nice. And then Phantasmal Flames. I've heard somebody else say this, and I think it's 100% the truth. The Ascended Heroes Gengar should have been in Phantasmal Flames, because like, how does Phantasmal Flames not have a big Gengar card? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And that card fits way more in the Phantasmal Flames vibe than it does the Ascended Heroes vibe. And I'm pretty much saying that from somebody, I can't remember who said it, but I 100% second it. And like, Ascended Heroes was already such a crazy set anyways. Like, I think it would have made more sense to put the Gengar and have the Charizard in Phantasmal. But yeah, so we'll open Journey first. Not open Journey. Well, no, I open a decent bit of Journey every now and then just because it's one of the easier sets to get. Leo, don't do it. Yep, I knew it. Well, we pull an Zoroark pack. Leo, what are you doing? And we have sleeves really close to us if we do pull anything super crazy. Leo. Okay, I knew he was going to make a little bit of noise, so we put him over to the side on the bed, so hopefully he'll just lay down. Yeah, I wasn't really planning to buy any sealed stuff, honestly, but like I said, with the Cynthia box being there, it just made sense. I think it's 1 card, and I think we just have a holo back there, but I guess we could have hit like an IR, which some of the IRs in the set are awesome, so that would be fine with me. No, Leo, no. He was about to start chewing on our Cynthia box. He likes chewing on boxes, and I could just see that about to happen. Yep, I could see that was about to happen. No, Leo. Okay, I might just have to cut the video. I'm sorry, but he's acting up. Whew, okay, I had to put him out, and I mean, I'm sure he's going to start crying at the door, but I could just tell he was going to do something he was not supposed to do. Okay, Lily's Cutie Fly, Petalil, Minchino, Toadscruel, Octillery, Weezing, Hops Cramorant, Minchino. Okay, this board. Is this the crazy card? Police Clefairy EX Wailord. Oh my gosh, I think this is the big crazy card. I thought this had to be in the last spot. And I was literally thinking about keeping this pack sealed just because I was like, I don't really care about opening Journey Together. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That is so crazy. Okay. What in the world? I didn't even think I could pull that because it wasn't in the last spot. And we did pull the Wailord, actually, the full art one. Wow, talk about my luck today. Wow. I genuinely can't believe that. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I've not hit a big card in a while. Like, wow. Literally, the last big card. I can't believe that. And my cat literally was acting up. And I was like, well, it doesn't matter because this isn't even a big pack. Wow, literally, this is probably my 3rd biggest pull on the channel. Because the only other things that are bigger than this are the 151 Charizard and the Prismatic Jolteon. But I think this is literally like the best card in the set, if I'm thinking right. And I might be wrong on that, but wow. Lily's Clefairy, wow. Well, and like I said, I thought that was going to be our, like, stinker pack. If our luck's going to continue, we might as well just pull the Surging Sparks Pikachu and the Phantasmal Flames And like I said, I'm not for sure if I'm wrong, and this is like the second best Lily card in the set, and it's like a $50 card, or if this is like the card of the set. Either way, though, I'm thrilled. I mean, I think the card art's beautiful, and I'm a big fan of Lily, so yeah, wow. But yeah, like I said, if we're going to continue this luck, we might as well pull the Charizard and pull the Pikachu. Okay, so one card to the front. Wow, yeah, I can't believe we pulled that. Okay, so Water Energy, Titan, Strudel. This pack feels really thick, though, for whatever reason. Rufflet, Gimmighoul, Annihilate, Gravity Mountain, Alolan Dugtrio, Uxie, Bronzong, and Togekiss. Wow, like if there was ever a day to get me back into the hobby, it was today. I mean, pulling this while also buying my biggest chase card. I mean, wow. Yeah, it's been a nice month, like, really back into the hobby. Oh, and look, we pull double Gengar. Is that a sign? I wasn't even thinking about the Clefairy. I'll be honest. Like I said, I was thinking more like the ends Zoroark. Okay, I actually saw the corner of a border, and it looked like something possibly decent. And like I said, it's probably just a regular holo, but like, actually I think that's just an EX. That's what I think that is. Steel Energy, Toxel, Lotad, Prinplup, Palm, and I mean, it don't even matter what we get because we pulled the Clefairy. Cresselia, Haunter, Punk Helmet, Ludicolo, Dizzying Valley, and Empoleon EX. That's a kind of cool EX though, because it looks like it's like half underwater almost with the bottom. I don't know. That's kind of cool because like you see it's almost like a full art, but not really. But oh my gosh, what in the world is this video? Yo, a little pack opening at the very end. We pull this. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think I've mentioned in some videos that I'd recorded near the end of like buying stuff. I was going to try to pay attention less to prices, but I've got to just look at how much that's going for right now. Like I said, I don't know if this is a $50 card or if this is the one that's like 200 something. But yeah, wow. Let's go check right now. Okay, so yeah, this is the big card in the set. It's not like as crazy as like the Jolteon or Charizard were like price-wise, but I mean still, I think this is like the biggest card in the set. And it is 141 with a market price and $131. Wow, like I said, I mean, it couldn't have been a better day for me card-wise. I mean, like I said, literally earlier today, we finally decided to pay for the Aerodactyl, and we actually got a really good deal on it. Did I even mention how good of a deal I got on it? Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, because I said we negotiated it down from 200. I said 150, and they countered with 160. Yeah. We do that. We pull the Clefairy, and we just got a ton of, like, just cool regular hours and stuff. Wow. And like I said, literally, that was the pack I was, like, whatever the most about. Yeah, wow. Journey Together has been really good to me, and I've just kind of been whatever on the set. Because, I mean, I think a lot of people have kind of felt that way with the set. And there's a lot of cards I really like in the set, but, like, there wasn't any, like, crazy big chase card for me. But I will take the best card in the set by far. But, yeah, wow. I'm thrilled. 141, I mean, 131 market price, but still, wow. Wow. Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I certainly did. But, yeah, wow. That's all I gotta say. But thank you all so much for watching. I'm obviously, I guess elated might be the word. I'm thrilled. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'm out. Hopefully more luck like this to come. Okay, here at the end after recording the video, and this is after I added the little intro bit that I decided to add because I realized, you know, with this crazy of a video this ended up being, that I wanted to add that. So I did want to add one little thing here at the end, and it's mainly just about the pack opening at the end, which I guess is probably the part you all just saw, but I will say I can see how this would almost seem scripted just because I literally like sat the cards down to the side and then opened it because I'm like doing this, I'm recording this part like the next day, literally like almost 24 hours after exactly. So I can see how that could definitely look scripted, but there's a few reasons why I think I can confirm I would not have scripted this. And I mean, I'd like put it on anything. This was 100% legit. There was nothing, and probably just the fact I'm doing this makes it seem suspicious, but what was I gonna say? I heard something and it messed me up. With this card's price being like in the 130 to 140 range, and I'm not going to sell the card. Just whenever I pull anything crazy like this, I have no intentions of selling it, just like anything big I pulled. But but if I had 130 in cash, this would not have been a card I would have. This is not what I would have spent it on, pretty much. I think literally the Aerodactyl I talked about earlier in this video is the only card I've spent over 100 on for like one singular card. So yeah, that's part of the reason. And then the other, I just don't think I would have had the reaction I would have had, if I knew it was coming. So yeah, like I said, I can see how that could have definitely looked suspicious. Like I said, I literally was like flipping through the cards and then put it to the side. But yeah, my cat was in here. What's funny, and I did realize this after the fact too, my other cat I think has been the one that's been in here whenever I've pulled the 1-2 packs. Or I meant the 1-2 big cards, the Charizard and the Jolteon. And then my other cat is in here when it's the Clefairy. And it's kind of funny. The boy cat's the one that's in here for the Clefairy. And then the girl cat's been in for, well, I mean, not that Charizard and Jolteon are the way more masculine Pokemon, but Clefairy's definitely more feminine Pokemon. But it is kind of funny now to think about it because it was like he was really wanting to jump on the table. Maybe he knew what was coming. Cat intuition, I guess. But yeah, I did just want to add this in the end because, like I said, looking back, I can see how that definitely could have looked funny, and it is really funny. Literally, Journey Together was the one pack that I was like the least excited for. I think I literally said in that part talking about Aerodactyl, I was like, we're opening some pretty good sets or relatively good sets, 2 of the 3, and the one I was saying wasn't as good was Journey Together. So yeah, definitely crazy. And like I said, I can see how that could have looked a little suspicious on recording, but I mean, it was 100% legit. Like I said, if I was going to fake something, which I wanted, it would have been a different big card than this. Like I said, which like I said, I'm not ever going to do anything like that. But wow, yeah, I still can't believe this card. Like I said, it was a crazy day. One of the best days I probably ever had in the Pokemon hobby, at least card wise in the last bit. Finally buying the big Grail, this card. Like literally opening 3 packs and pulling this out of the first one. And then just fun at my very first card show. But yeah, crazy day, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I think I said, I enjoyed this video so much, so I hope some of you all do. But yeah, recorded most of it and was literally going through the editing process and looking over the video, and I was like, that did look a little off. So I did, not super off, but you can see like I put the card like there, just out of frame, which like I said, looked kind of sus. And especially, I mean, I guess it's not as big of a deal, but like if I was somebody that was like doing breaks or not break, I guess is it breaks for Pokemon? Or kind of, like whatnot, that would have looked sus. But I guess for just recording, it's not as big of a deal. But yeah, still can't believe I pulled this. It is a crazy card, and like I said, not one I would have purchased, but it is one I love and have no intentions of selling. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will say one thing, as far as uploads, I'm kind of at a weird spot on my upload schedule right now because I have a lot of older videos I need to get up. I have a lot of videos from the Champions series I've recorded that need to be up. And I think one thing I'm going to do with that is maybe do like, since they're already kind of longer videos, I might do like episode 3 and 4 merged together as one big video instead of like, just separate videos, just because that's going to be, I've recorded a ton of Champions, so I think I'm just going to make like 2 to 3 hour videos instead of just a bunch of 1 hour long videos. And then like I said, so pretty much as far as what's to come on this channel, so I guess I'll put this in the little channel updates playlist just because it's been such a crazy video and this little thing at the end. But yeah, we'll do the Champions videos. We've got older videos including like the X and Y playthrough, the Pokemon White playthrough, just a bunch of random card openings that I never uploaded on the channel, and then the Champions playthrough is the only like modern thing I've recorded, and then there's just gonna be like new recorded videos here and there like the one you all are seeing right now. But yeah, that's it. And like I said, if I think I didn't say it in this video, but in other videos, if a video seems like the date just seems really weird, just look in the description or whatever, and I'll normally list like this video was recorded on this day. But yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm out, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like I said, I definitely did.